It was past 11 p.m. when Josh's car sputtered and died along a desolate country road, miles from the nearest town. His phone had no signal. Rain threatened overhead, and the night was darker than usual, as if the stars themselves were hiding. He started walking, hoping for help. After nearly an hour of trudging along the winding road, Josh spotted a faint amber glow ahead. To his disbelief, a small café stood between gnarled trees and mist-covered fields. Warm light spilled from its windows. A chalkboard sign outside read, "Open for those who need us most." There were no cars, no staff visible through the windows, but the door creaked open when he touched it. Inside, the café was cozy, dimly lit, and smelled of cinnamon and something metallic. A single waitress in vintage attire greeted him with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Welcome to the Midnight Brew. What troubles you tonight?" Josh sat, unnerved but exhausted. The other patrons were quiet, too quiet. One stirred their coffee without blinking. Another sat frozen mid-sip, eyes wide with horror. No one spoke. Josh ordered a coffee, and from the moment he took his first sip, memories he had never lived began to flood his mind. Bloody corridors, a woman screaming his name, a door he was never meant to open. He tried to leave, but every time he opened the cafe door, he was back inside. The time never moved past 12:01. The waitress leaned in. "You broke down, Josh, but maybe it wasn't your car. Maybe it was you." Josh clawed at the doors, trying to force them open, but every exit only led him back inside, back to his seat, back to the same lukewarm cup of coffee with the reflection of his younger self swirling inside. The clock above the counter never moved past 12:01. He turned to the other patrons. Some stared at their cups, others wept silently. One man scratched at his face until his skin peeled. He stood. "What is this place?" he demanded. The waitress, still smiling, slowly wiped down the counter with a cloth soaked in something too dark to be coffee. "This is the Midnight Brew, Josh. You came to us. Not everyone gets an invitation, but everyone who comes has something to answer for." He looked around. They're trapped? They're being processed. Everyone here is on the brink, the moment right after death, the breath before the soul falls. The cafe is where they decide. Move on, or stay with what haunts them forever. Josh froze. "I'm dead?" The waitress leaned closer, her eyes hollow. "No, not yet. But you're bleeding out in your car, right now, wrapped around a tree. Time here isn't real. But your guilt is. And it's heavy, isn't it?" Josh collapsed into his seat as memories came flooding back. The late-night drinking, the speeding, the figure on the road he thought was a hallucination. The girl with the backpack. Her face flashed in his mind, pale, crushed against the windshield. He never stopped. The patrons around him began to change, their faces warped. No longer strangers, but people he'd hurt, forgotten, and buried. The girl. His mother. A friend he betrayed. One by one, they turned to stare at him. "You can't lie in here," the waitress said. "Not to us. Not to yourself." Josh screamed, "Then let me go." She tilted her head. "You have a choice. Face what you did or stay and relive it forever." The lights flickered. The cafe began to shake. The smell of burning tires and spilled blood filled the air. Josh stood up and his coffee was untouched. "I want to go back." The waitress paused. "Then you'll have to remember everything when you wake up. No forgetting, no peace, just the truth." He nodded, and the cafe was gone.